My name is Bill Gerber. I am the Chief Revenue Officer. I'm responsible for sales and marketing here at Lendisoft. And I have Chris Starkey, who's our Chief Operating Officer, and Deb Defer, who is our guest today. So a little bit later, what we're going to do is give Deb the floor, give her an opportunity to, talk about what she does and how she's helped us. I mean, it's been incredible, Deb, and I thank you very much for that. But what I wanted to do was give you a brief overview of Lendisoft and what we do in the marketplace. Lendisoft is what we like to say the new kid on the block. We are a cloud-based software as a service solution for loan management. So lenders would use our tool to manage their loan portfolio from very small to enterprise. And what you'll see in a few of the slides that are coming up here is some of the unique capabilities of Lendisoft. I have about 7 slides that I'll fly through here to give you an overview of what we do. And then this particular event is about our QuickBooks Online Connector and bringing in Deb Defer, who is Dr. QuickBooks, and we'll go from there. So yes, we're a loan management system software developer for lenders. This software is built by lenders for lenders and has just some amazing tools built into it. Number one is our dashboard. The dashboard you see is color-coded and filled with information to allow you to manage your portfolio with ease and with insight that a lot of other products don't offer, and it's there for you to really get the greatest amount of performance out of your operation, your collections operation. We can white label this and make it specific to your organization, or if you're a servicing organization, we can white label for the individual clients that you may be servicing. What's unique about our software is every single loan in your portfolio gets a risk grade assigned to it. Now, what that does, it allows you to identify areas within your loan portfolio that may have the highest risk, and then also offer up a skills-based assignment capability with your collectors. So your best collectors could be handling your greatest risky risk accounts. Another unique differentiator, or a differentiator within the Lendisoft platform, our loan management software or LMS solution, is our campaign builder. So you can do A/B testing. This is quite unique, and then continue to fine tune your operation to its greatest efficiency and effectiveness. We have an activity timeline. So with each one of the engagements that you have with your consumers, with your borrowers, we can offer up this timeline that gives you the ability to see when you last touched and what those responses are. They're color coded to give you, details, or give the collections agent details of the last 30 days on any specific loan. Next action AI, giving you and your collections organization the next best action, and then a click button to make that happen if it's the right action based upon the rules of your organization. Best time to call logic is another unique capability within the organization, allowing you to align with the CFPB guidelines and regulations within your particular state. So is it best to call that borrower based on the location of, let's say, a vehicle or the asset, based upon their home address, which may be a different area code, or based upon their phone number and their area code, their address, number one, or their phone number, which may be, on the West Coast. So West Coast, Central, or East, they could all be different areas to call into. What is that best time to call, and what is allowed by the CFPB? And then what we're here to talk about today is the newest development of our QuickBooks Online Connector. And that QuickBooks Online Connector allows you to click the button in the screen to upload that information into QuickBooks. And I tell you, we had a team of folks focused on this that was led by Deb Defer. Our client, Ring Investments, which is the largest Caterpillar dealer in the East Coast or Florida area. And then Expert Solution Technologies also was one of the developers in this that helped the Lendisoft developers to really bring this together. And Deb is the one that really fine-tuned it to a point of operation. And we're real pleased to have Deb on this call and to give her a little bit of an overview as to, or give us an overview as to what she does and what she's done for the last 30 years. Deb, can you still my screen and maybe share some of your slides?
Absolutely, Bill and Chris. Thank you so much for having me today. Deb Defer Consulting. I also am a director of CAS for Woodard Consulting Group. So not only am I a practicing practitioner and leverage QuickBooks Online on a daily basis, I also help accounting firms stand up their outsourcing team. QuickBooks Online is a cloud-based accounting software. It's developed by Intuit. Many of you have been familiar, I'm sure, with QuickBooks Desktop. The online product allows you to have anywhere, anytime access to, as long as you have an internet connection, to real-time data. Please note, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but Intuit is sunsetting QuickBooks Desktop as of June of 2024. You will no longer, or your clients will no longer be able to purchase a desktop on-prem installation. They are very hyper-focused, Intuit is, on transitioning everyone to the cloud. So we talked about QuickBooks Online being user-friendly, versatile. It empowers small businesses to manage their finances. You can have multiple people using QuickBooks Online at one time. That can be of a huge benefit to you, be able to really make proactive decisions on financial metrics and not delay important decision making. Big fan of QuickBooks Online. I have been for several years. If you haven't embraced it or haven't taken the time to look at it, I encourage you to do so. Emerging technology, cloud accounting. Why the technology matters? Well, you know, when you're in the cloud, you're going to gain high efficiency, productivity, you get higher team satisfaction, you get better client relationships because you can have real-time conversations with your clients. So the integration with Lendisoft is the information is coming in to your QuickBooks Online file. You can see balances on your customers in both locations. You can build custom reports, and you can really streamline the whole process around lending. You're staying competitive in a very evolving market, and you're really mitigating a lot of risk. Real-time data is the industry standard, no doubt. When we talk about emerging technology, we're talking about AI or artificial intelligence. We're talking about machine learning. We're talking about optical character recognition or blockchain, biotechnology, quantum computing, augmented reality with AR, virtual reality, even bots created by robotic process automation. There are so many things that we can leverage in order to get the real-time information. I want to talk about QuickBooks Online and give you an overview of the product. Many of you maybe don't know some really slick things that the product has to offer. When you talk about QuickBooks Online subscriptions, there's basically 4 levels and then a 5th level for accountants. The granddaddy being QBO Advanced, and this is for larger businesses with more complex needs. Typically in the arena of like the current client that I'm working with Lendisoft, they're using QuickBooks Online QBO Plus, and it's very comprehensive. It has the advanced features, it includes inventory and project profitability. So that is something that you may want to look at because you can have up to 5 users in QuickBooks Online Plus. QuickBooks Online Essentials is really a mid-level plan for growing businesses. You can have up to 3 users. It does include bill management and time tracking. And then typically I don't even recommend QuickBooks Online Simple Start. It's very basic for brand new startup, sole proprietors. Doesn't have the robustness of being able to create 1099s or tracking 1099s or class tracking if you have departments that you want to track. So it's a very simplistic version. And into its latest investment has been QBO, or QuickBooks Online Ledger. And this is really specific to accountants. You may have an accountant that has several hundred tax clients, and they just need a place to put the data so that they can pull a trial balance and do a tax return. So that's into its latest and greatest. These are all monthly subscription models. The key to this with by item in a subscription, again, functionality, it's pricing, you can control levers of permission for your users, you gain a great deal of efficiencies and effectiveness. And some of those areas can be within the 7 pillars of an accounting system, which is absolutely critical to getting accurate, clean, real-time data. So I mentioned earlier, anytime, anywhere access. We call that cloud accounting. Automation, leveraging those emerging technologies. We all heard about ChatGPT, that's AI, machine learning, optical character recognition. That's true automation. Instead of having to key in data, typing, you can leverage these type of emerging technologies to pre-fill that information. And instead of having bookkeeping, we actually have pre-accounting. We're actually getting the data automatically into the system so that we can actually do the accounting work. Its functionality, you can see the benefits of being able to access it. My client calls me up in 10 minutes and wants to know what their cash flow looks like, or if they're going to make payroll this year, or this week. And it's really important to be able to access the data and give accurate information real time. QuickBooks Online is very user-friendly. It's just a matter of changing the features and functionality between desktop and online. You just go to a different place, but it is extremely user-friendly, hence Intuit. The product is intuitive. We have reporting. You can customize reporting, especially in QuickBooks Online Advanced. And again, I'm going to tell you, again, real-time data. They say you have to repeat things 7 times for people to remember. So that was 5 or 6, I think. And then being able to be collaborative within the environment, accessing the data at the exact same time the client is in the system. Absolutely critical. Some of the amazing features that you find in QuickBooks Online, there's bank feeds. It automates your bank reconciliations. It's incredible. You're working off of exception. You have accounts payable where you can actually pay your bills. You can set up banking rules. So when these bank feeds are connected, you can tell it every time that you see BP or Shell that it's gasoline or fuel, however your general ledger is established. You can actually schedule bill pays for your accounts payable. You can do spend management within the system. And sometimes we get ancillary products like Lendisoft to complement it. So I talk about QuickBooks Online being my hubcap in the middle, and then I have ancillary third parties that make it on steroids. We have accounts receivable, we have autofill transaction. I love the collaboration, and we can actually have document storage within QuickBooks Online. Some of the statistics in the accounting profession today is that 85.11% of small business clients use QuickBooks in one way, shape, or form, and that the trajectory and the pendulum is moving toward QuickBooks Online. 30.2 million small business, and when they say SMB, they mean small to medium-sized businesses in the US, represent 99.9% of all businesses. It's incredible. The SMBs are not knowledgeable in accounting and finance. I can sit down with my clients and ask them, what keeps you up at night? What do you hate doing the most? And a lot of times what I hear is, I spend all weekend away from my family in my office, entering bills and paying bills. I didn't go to school to be the accountant. I don't want to do that stuff. And that's where I can swoop in and help them out. 65.7 have new jobs. They for sure struggle with cash flow. Many have missed payrolls, 20%. That's a high number. 19% have paid employees, and the SMBs have foregone sale of a project of $10,000 or higher due to cash flow issues. So these are things to keep in mind when you're shifting to cloud accounting. You can get a better pulse on the business when you're in the cloud, when it's real time, and when you're leveraging some of the benefits of QuickBooks Online. We talk about the third-party applications, right? We talk QBO, putting it on steroids. I mentioned that earlier, using Lendisoft, being able to do lending in outside of the environment of QBO and letting that data feed into QBO. There's companies like Bill, many of you publicly traded, that actually can handle the bill pay or can handle the accounts receivable, accepting those payments, mitigating risk for clients. There are so many cyber criminals out there, and so many small businesses will send checks out, they get stolen out of the mail, and these criminals can go in and steal money by leveraging that routing number and account number on these checks that are going through the mail. And I am such an advocate of using an online product like Bill that doesn't use my account number. It doesn't use my routing number. They have their own bank and their own security around it, and they just impound the money from my account. It really streamlines the process. We have expense reporting, like for credit cards, when we have employees that need a credit card, when they need to spend, maybe they're a salesperson and they're grabbing an Uber or they're taking people out to dinner, that you can actually leverage. Bill, formerly known as Bill.com, actually purchased a company called Divvy. They've rebranded now, and it's actually called Bill Spend and Expense Management, and it's free. There is no charge to that. You can use the Divvy cards and give them to your team members, and you can actually get real-time information funneled back into your accounting system so that you know where your profit and loss is and your cash flow on a real-time, daily, hourly, by the minute reporting. What makes a third-party app? Are they operationally suitable, right? So when we look at these, right, and we can use Lendisoft as an example, right? What does it work with what the client needs? Well, I can tell you the particular client that we were working on, we were using the accounts receivable module for the loans so that we could receive payments against it. Well, that doesn't work in the environment when you have 3 to 5 year loans, right? Because your aging receivables age out, and it's very difficult to get a report out of the system because QuickBooks Online is meant to have 30, 60, 90 days, not 3-year, 4-year, 5-year terms. And so looking at a third party to manage those loans and the timetables and to be able to get reports on it doesn't meet and doesn't work for the client needs. Are they compliant? Do they have multi-factor authentication and single sign-on? Do they have their SOC compliant? That's critical for it to be operational suitable for a client. Does the complexity of the company's infrastructure work appropriately with the app, right? We don't want to break something to add something new, right? That's not going to benefit anybody. We want it to build into their process flow design. So we ask the question, does the company need a process flow? Can we leverage a third party to operationally change the way that they're doing business in order to make them more efficient? Is the company willing to make that pivot when needed? Does the company provide information timely? And is the company willing to adopt new technology? Change management is really hard. I am not going to sit here and sugarcoat it, but if you have the buy-in from the top down, it makes change management more doable. And we have to let our team members know what's in it for them. Some of the really cool things, tips and tricks, like where is this data coming from? What can I do to be more efficient within QuickBooks Online? Well, some of my favorites are keyboard shortcuts. The one I'm showing here is based on efficiencies. So if I want to pull up an invoice, I hit the letter I on my keyboard. If I want to write a check, I hit a W. If I want to do an estimate, an E, or an X for expenses, right? A credit card expense I want to put on, R to receive a payment, and so on and so forth. These keyboard shortcuts can help you operationally do efficiency tasks within QuickBooks Online. It's really amazing. I get so excited with these things. It increases time, right? Saved, right? We know that. Some of the other efficiencies, and these are my favorite, like if you hit the letter T, it takes you to today, or you hit the letter Y, it takes you to the beginning of the year, or the letter R to the end of the year. So you have these dates, and they're all around time. We can do save, we can do calculate, you can do all kinds of things within a derived or a given field within QuickBooks Online. So when it's the date field, you can use these keyboard shortcuts, or where you're in the amount, you can do and calculate with a calculator. Like if you have to split things up, a Verizon bill has to be split up between 3 or 4 people, you can literally take the dollar amount, divide it by 4, and actually list it 4 different times within a bill or within a check. We just need a refresher on these things. I'm sure many of you are aware about keyboard shortcuts, but some of us just didn't know that it was included in QuickBooks Online. Some of the other things that I really like within QuickBooks Online, if I need to open up multiple windows or multiple QuickBooks Online accounts, I can use incognito windows. And so I can have company ABC in one window. I can open a different incognito and have company XYZ, or I can open up a third incognito window. The benefit of that is being able to manage company files that have related parties so that you can tie out your intercompanies, you can access them simultaneously. It allows you to isolate the session, and you avoid cross-contamination of data if you're using a shared computer. So you can hide, and the next person that comes in can't get your password and things like that when you use an incognito window. Here's the tips on how do you use it. In Chrome or Firefox or Edge, you can open the incognito window by pressing the Control-Shift-N, or you can go up to your upper right corner where there's the little hamburger, the 3 little dots, and you can actually open an incognito window from there. You can log into QuickBooks Online in an incognito window without affecting your regular session, and it operates independently of your regular browser. I like it. I have a lot of clients that have multiple company files, and so I leverage those incognito windows quite extensively. Duplicating the tabs. So what that does for us is it's the purpose of, so if you want to have a balance sheet or and a profit and loss and a journal entry all at the same time on your QuickBooks browser, you can actually go up to the tab at the top and you can duplicate those tabs. So then you can pull one of the windows and do side by side. You can look at things, right, by duplicating. And you can also use the Control-D. There's another keyboard shortcut. And you can log into QuickBooks Online in both tabs for the same company by duplicating. And I love it when I can see my balance sheet and my profit and loss right next to each other. And I can then pull open a journal entry, I can make the journal entry, and then I can refresh those screens and I can see the data come through appropriately on the financial statements. That duplicating screens, historically, people have said, oh, it's terrible. I can't use QuickBooks Online because I have to keep using my back browser. And that isn't the case. You can actually duplicate the tabs up at the top and have multiple windows open at the same time. When we talk about reporting, customizing the dashboards, taking transactional data and creating graphs, we can do all of this with the business snapshot within QuickBooks Online. It's pretty slick how you can move around these charts and graphs. The ability to understand the state of the business, some people don't do well reading a profit and loss. They're looking at black and white and it's like a deer staring at headlights, but they can understand a graph and they can understand trend lines and things that are moving up and down. So it makes it more comprehensible to these individuals. So in conclusion, for 2024, we are navigating a dynamic landscape. Really, QuickBooks Online emerges not just as an accounting tool, but as a strategic ally in propelling our businesses to new heights. By embracing these powerful features, by leveraging the latest advancement, implementing streamlined workflows, you're not just managing finances, you're shaping the future of your success story, or you're helping your clients create and shape the future of their success. Seizing the opportunity to do more, achieve more, thrive in a digital age with QuickBooks Online. Here's to a year of innovation, efficiency, unparalleled growth. So cheers to doing more in 2024.
This one looks like it came in from Jim, and it is, what is the integration timeline? And I assume that that means integration timeline for QuickBooks Online, or maybe it's talking broader about, QuickBooks Online in general for a new customer. But I'll address what's the integration timeline. We are in the middle of this integration now. We've fine-tuned and are ready for our first delivery of the QuickBooks Online Connector. And Deb, do you have anything more to add to that about QuickBooks Online specifically, and maybe some of the gaps that we're still trying to close here?
Yeah, so it's important to understand the integration points, right? When you're bringing in a third party, those integration points, it's important to understand from a debits and credits where they're landing in the financial statements. So an integration timeline could be anywhere from 2 to 3 days to a couple of weeks, depending on what you're trying to accomplish. So you can be working with these vendors, standing up QuickBooks Online just to implement it. It's a matter of having a chart of accounts, knowing what customers you want to add to the system, knowing what accounts payable, and sometimes we do those on the fly. So setting up a QuickBooks Online account is very quick. It can be done in a matter of hours. But when we start talking about some of the more complex third-party integrations like an Expensify or a bill, there's a lot of rules and compliance that fall under that. And so many times it will take about up to a week to complete the full integration and accomplish what a client's trying to accomplish.
Okay. Okay. Here's another one. What innovations are planned for 2024? I will address that, and then I'll pass it back to you, Deb. I think you may have already addressed that in some of your comments, but from a Lendisoft point of view, we have launched our LMS platform, and we have a handful of customers on that platform utilizing it for their collections operation. We're rolling into additions to the LMS platform, such as the QBO Connector, and then we've also delivered our first data miner solution. This is an add-on service to the LMS platform and to the Lendisoft as part of the Lendisoft suite. What we have in the future is an LOS component to this, a loan origination system component that would leverage the same common operating environment, and it would plug into the top of this platform to give you LOS capabilities. Scorecard management capabilities are also part of this solution longer term. The scorecard, portfolio valuation, data miner components are available today. We're looking for our first scorecard builder client. So if you're it, please, tap on us. Deb, do you have any comments about any additional comments about QuickBooks Online?
Yeah, so there's over, Bill, 750 apps that connect to QuickBooks Online in multiple industries. And there's competitors in the market. And competition is good because it makes the vendors step up to the plate and make their product incredibly good and allows for a seamless user experience. So we're going to see more AI. You're going to see more of these technology advancements across the world. Like I showed Secta AI with headshots, or Chat GPT with creating content. And there's a beautiful AI or Beauty AI, which is another platform that does PowerPoints for you, right? And it's creating them. You give it an idea and it's creating them right from the description that you're providing, like you would in Chat GPT. We're going to see a lot more of that in 2024, no doubt.
Great, great. Well, we have just a little bit of housekeeping here. This is recorded, so what we will do is package this up and put it on our website, so you'll be able to refer back to it. If you have any additional questions, don't hesitate to direct them to myself. I can be reached at bgerber@lendisoft.com, or just go to lendisoft.com and put in an info request there. We'll make sure that we get those addressed. So with that, Deb, if you don't have anything more, we'll go ahead and close this down.
Well, I want to share with folks, you can follow me on LinkedIn. It's Deb Defer, AKA Dr. QuickBooks. On Twitter, I apologize. And you can ping me in LinkedIn. Love to answer questions and help you out with QuickBooks Online at any point or time. So thanks for having me, Bill, Chris.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.